Source Code. So Duncan Jones, the director of Source Code, previously directed Moon. He hasn't done many movies. I think he's only done 3 or 4 maybe, and if I remember, one of them was a short. So basically Moon and Source Code are his first 2 big movies, and like Christopher Nolan, who has only done Dark Knight and Inception as like the bigger movies, he started off amazingly. In Moon, Duncan Jones is experimenting with the idea of cloning. I did not know this when I started watching Moon, and by the end I was just sitting in front of the TV just going, what just happened? But I was nonetheless very interested and fascinated. So naturally, after Moon, I wanted to see what Duncan Jones would bring up next and what he would do. And I was not let down, because Source Code has 2 of the most interesting subjects and complicated subjects mixed into one: quantum physics and conscious creation. Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my favourite actors, and although he has clear strengths in psychological mind-melting movies or a mixture of comedy and action, and not a particularly diverse actor, I like him. He's a good actor, and he keeps this movie going very well, and I mean, I would say it's all based around him. He's the main actor, and then Michelle Monaghan, Vera Farmiga and possibly Jeffrey Wright are sort of the second base actors of the movie, and so Jake Gyllenhaal upholds this movie very well. The basic plot of this movie is that the character of Captain Coulter Stevens, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, awakes in this train. He does not know how he got there. Michelle Monaghan, her character called Christina, looks at him saying things, calling him Sean, and he has no idea what's going on. And then after 8 minutes, the train blows up, and he awakes again to find himself in this capsule with Vera Farmiga looking at him. She explains that Captain Stevens has to replay this guy Sean Fentress's last 8 minutes of his life in order to find who the bomber of the train is. And so he has to be sent into this thing called the Source Code, which enables him to do this, which causes his conscious to go into the last few minutes, the body of the last few minutes of this man, Sean Fentress. So in order to complete his mission, he has to keep going into the Source Code in order to find the bomber and understand the bomb and prevent the impending attack from happening. And so in order to do this, he has to keep going in, and we see the same thing, the same situation again and again and again and again. But it doesn't get boring. I mean, it actually gets impeccably interesting. Duncan Jones sort of somehow finds a way to keep us interested, even though he's showing us the same situation. And I mean, recently there have been a lot of psychological things, like Inception, for example. Inception was very complicated, and I reviewed it. And in my review, I did say that after coming out of the cinema, I just could not stop thinking about it. I wanted to tie up all the loose ends in my head to fully understand the story, and I did not think that a movie like that would make me do that so soon. That there would be a movie that would make me do that so soon. But here it is. I really love psychological movies because they make me think, and they make me want to know more. I think there has been a definite shift in the type of movies that have been coming out recently, and I really like this step in the new direction of having so many psychologically thrilling movies, and Source Code is one of them. It makes you think, and I really love it when a movie makes me think. I love these psychological thrillers, and I really think the industry is definitely coming out with an awesome new direction. Although, admittedly, if you don't want to think, there is also this sort of pool of chick flicks coming out around these psychologically thrilling movies. But we could just ignore those for this. I don't want to give too much away because this movie has only recently come out, and I don't want to spoil it because, I mean, what's the point? If people knew what Inception was about before they went to see it, they would still see it. I mean, obviously, it's an awesome movie, but it would just defeat the point. However, if you want to know a bit more before you go to see Source Code about quantum physics, and conscious creation, then I have put a link down below. Now before I say goodbye, I wanted to give you guys a different summary on the movie. Using my wonderful Total Film magazine here, who has a whole section on the source code, they have a comparison of other movies which are like it. You don't need to have a second sight to spot where source code got its formula. Alternative realities, The Matrix, high-tech time hopping, Deja Vu, father-son bonding via fractured space-time continuum, Frequency, even Quantum Leap gets a shout-out via an Easter egg of a cameo, while Speed appears to be the model for how Stephen's fellow passengers, yuppie, hole, bitter comedian, shifty-looking geek in a Star Wars parody t-shirt, get caught up in the unfolding drama. So, as I am excited to see what Christopher Nolan will come up with next, I am now excited to see what Duncan Jones will come up with next, because they are head-to-head in this battle for psychologically mind-melting movies. So, arrivederci, and don't forget the popcorn.